guys. Happy
Hi.
Sunday. Happy new month. Welcome to May. Today is May the 3rd, 2026, and it is 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I am so excited, so excited, so excited to have this precious jewel, this beautiful queen on the Kristle Shanell show on today. We have author Logan Marie Taylor in the studio on today. Now, you guys, you're going to see me, Dr. Kristle Shanell. I'm going to be transferring from screen to screen. Okay, I'm on many different platforms. Okay, I'm on about 10 platforms as we speak. So you will see this book rotate from different positions. Just know that I'm not losing my mind. Okay, just know that I have many cameras in front of me. Okay, so first, I want to encourage everyone that is listening. Number one, I want to say welcome to the show. Also, want to encourage you in advance. Go ahead to Amazon. Go ahead and put this in your cart. The name of the book is In My Eyes, Searching for Self-Worth. Now, a lot of us can truly say over the years, we have been searching for our self-worth. The key is, have you found it? Have you found it? And Logan, I
Mhm.
just want to start off just saying I'm so excited. I was reading your book right before the show, and there's a let me see what page that was on. Hold on one second. All right, it says the dedication. I absolutely love the dedication to the little girl that didn't feel beautiful. I hope
Mhm.
that you feel beautiful now.
Yep.
Look at that. So, to the queens, there are so many of us at some point in time. We did not feel beautiful, but Logan Marie Taylor is stating to you today that she hopes that you feel beautiful at this time. Okay? So, I'm going to stop talking. Logan, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here on the Kristle Shanell show. You guys, me and Logan, we've known each other for many, many years. We kept saying over the years that we were going to do a show, we were going to do a show, we were going to do a show, and needless to say, the show never happened. But guess what? Today is the day. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so definitely we want to make sure that we're bringing awareness to Mental Health Awareness Month, as well as May is Lupus Awareness Month. So we want to make sure that we're bringing awareness to lupus. Also, I found out, Logan, that it is Teacher Awareness Month, and you're a teacher, so want to give awareness to the teachers. Shout out to the teachers that have been working so hard for our children, right? And needless to say, I wish I was able to just push that button to make sure that you guys get more money, right? Because I feel that teachers and police officers, listen, even the mental health counselors, right? We need more money. Okay, let's just be real, right? Our jobs are not easy, and we really, really, really need to, be able to be in a situation where people just realize how hard the work is. It's nothing. As they say, it's not for the weak, right? So it's not for the weak. So Logan, welcome in, welcome in. How are you doing on this Sunday?
I'm good and I'm blessed and I'm really excited to be here tonight. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. And Logan, we're going to go ahead and get started. What I would like for you to do is please share with the listening audience who is Logan Marie Taylor.
Well, Logan Marie Taylor is a small town girl from Jackson, Michigan. It's about southeast of Detroit and it's very, very small, but she's a little girl who had big, big hopes for the future. And I graduated high school from Jackson High School. I then went on to Eastern Michigan University and I graduated and got my business administration degree and it concentrated in HR. I kind of dibbled and dabbled with HR, trying to figure out where my niche was. So I was in long term care, I was in corrections for a minute. I came down to Ohio, which is where you and I connected. I know that you don't live in Ohio, but that's where I was living at the time in 2020. And working in HR was great, but it didn't fill me the way I felt like it needed to.
Mhm.
I eventually went on, and people will read in my book, like some of the things that have happened to deter me from my mission in being in HR. Um, I came back to Michigan and I started a family. And while I was starting that family, I realized that it was time to put my story out there. I had always known that I had some type of testimony that would be able to reach and help somebody. I was hoping for young girls or teenagers or young women, but my goal was to always touch somebody from the story that I had and the things that I went through. And so last year, I connected with a mentor and a really good friend. His name is Hakeem Crampton, and he's wrote several books himself that are also available on Amazon. But he's an awesome person. And I went to him with questions about how to write a book, how to get it out there. And he kind of just sat down with me and told me everything that needed to be done. And it was very special because I thought that there were so many different things that you needed to write a book, right? And I don't know if you felt the same way, Crystal, with writing your book, but I felt like you had to have a publishing company. I thought that you had to have an editor. I thought that you had to have somebody that did graphic design. And he literally kind of shook his head at me every single time I brought up one of those types of professions. And he just said, I did everything myself. And that was the fire under me that said, okay, like I need to go ahead and I need to write a book from start to finish. And so during that time last year, there was an authors expo that was happening in Jackson. And I was there just networking and seeing about some of the different authors and illustrators and graphic designers. And I said to myself, next year I'm going to be at that authors expo. And it is the next year. And on the 16th of this month in Jackson, Michigan, I will not only be showcasing my book, I will also be showcasing
Your
my
son.
son's book and my daughter's book. So
I love
praise
it.
to God. All praises to God.
I love it. I love it. And share with the listening audience the title of your children's book.
Sure. So my son's name is Ezra Taylor, and a little background story. Both of my kids were with me in during the trenches of getting my book off of the ground, and so that was the long nights of me editing. That was the early mornings of me doing graphic designing, and so my kids were very, even though they are small. I have a 3 going on 4 year old, and I have a 20-month-old daughter. And so, yes, they're small, but they are very much so like they're woke to the world. Like they know what's going on. And so, when my book was finally printed, my kids were like, that's mommy on a book. And I was going to school one day, dropping them off at school. And my son was like, Mommy, I want to have a book. And I was like, You want to write a book? He said, Yes.
I
I
love
said, What
it.
do you want to write a book about? He said, I want to write a book about two brothers and one is the leader. And then you know how 3 year olds talk, they just kind of start like mumbling and like jumbling their words. So I had to, for a couple of months, sit down with him and piece together
Ask
what
him
type of a
questions.
story that he wanted to orchestrate. And from there, I said, Well, that's my business. I am a publishing company. And so the best way to get myself off of the ground is not only publishing my own book, but also publishing my children's built books as well. So my son is Ezra Taylor, and he is the author of The Leader Dinosaur.
I love it.
And thank you so much. And my daughter's book is Oh Mommy, I Follow You by Myra Taylor. Both of these
Oh.
books have hand drawn illustrations by my cousin, Noella Rose.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just really, really excited about these journeys as well.
I'm so excited for you and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
To be able to just, listen, like you said, speak to your friend, and just have that drive to say, okay, I can do this myself. I can do this. Okay. Of course, with like every situation, you don't need this, you don't need that, different things of that nature. But of course, it's each person's preference and what they want to do and what they don't want to do. All right. I love being me having my publishing company as well. I'm very grateful, but I'm not the one that's going to be editing and doing a lot of the back end stuff, right? But I can definitely sell the book for you. I can do some things like that for you. So I'm so happy for you. So proud. Again, you
Thank
guys, I have in the studio with me on today. Her name is author Logan Marie Taylor. This is her book, In My Eyes, Searching for Self-Worth. Listen, go to Amazon, go ahead and put it in your cart, go ahead and check out. Listen, don't just put the book in your cart and then don't check out, okay? Check out, you guys. Let the book arrive to your home and definitely support this Black author, this young Black author, Logan Marie Taylor. Listen, you guys, let me tell you something. Her book is only $20. Now, for you guys that have already purchased my book, I just want to say thank you. Dr. Kristle Shanell, greatly appreciate you. I love you. But listen, I did this the other night. Look at the difference, okay? My book is $20 and Logan's book is $20, okay? So just to let you know, you're getting all your money's worth, okay? Logan, I did a short book because I know I'm doing series and much, much more to come in regards to my book. So I wanted to keep it small and light. But again, it is a thick book, but when I tell you it's a wealth of her story, her testimony, just a great, great read. So I definitely want to encourage you to do that. And it's on Amazon. So feel free to go to Amazon, put it in your cart, and check out. Okay. Just don't leave it there. Okay. Waiting in there for 1 month and y'all ain't check out the book and have it delivered to your home. But anyway, Logan, what I do want to talk about at this time is again, we said that the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month as well as Lupus Awareness Month. Okay. And let me just start with mental wellness. And I love to always include self care. Okay. Myself being a therapist, my mother being a counselor, therapist, at the end of the day, what I always want to bring to the community is that it's very, very important for us to focus on mental wellness and self care. Okay. There is a lot happening in the world. Okay. There's a lot happening. As you turn on social media, as you turn on the news, I don't even watch the news, but unfortunately, because I do have a cell phone, right, it pops up in my feed, in my notification, over the course of the last few years, all the rest in peace, different people are unfortunately killing one another, killing, their husbands or their wives and different things of that nature. And I just want to talk about mental wellness and just to encourage each and every person to please, please, please focus on your mental wellness, focus on your self care. A lot of times, being in the mental health community is stigmatized a whole lot. And I tell people all the time, listen, mental wellness, mental health, therapy is not just for when you're having a bad time, a hard time. Therapy is when you're doing good. Therapy is when you're doing not so good. Therapy is when you're doing extremely bad and all the things, right? Everybody needs somebody to talk to. It doesn't matter whether or not what race we are. A lot of times, we have family members, we have friends, different things of that nature, and not everybody wants to hear our stories or what we're going through and things of that nature. And then a lot of times they tell you, not to share so much with different people because, of course, there's a situation where people will judge you, right? So it's always good to have someone outside of family, outside of friends that you can talk to and you can relate with, and it's a no judgment zone. Okay. So I want to definitely encourage you to definitely make sure that you do that for yourself for 2026 and moving forward. Focus on your mental wellness, focus on self care. As I always tell people on pretty much all of my videos, right? Go outside, get you some vitamin D, take a walk. It helps with anxiety attacks, panic attacks, PTSD, bipolar, depression, suicidal thoughts, clarity. Of course, as well as your physical, you're getting fit, right? Our focus is to focus on the person as a whole, mind, body, soul, spirit. So I want to encourage each and every person that I am listening, that is listening to me, to definitely, as I stated, to focus on mental wellness and self care in some form or fashion, whatever that looks like, right? I created something, Logan, which is called a mental wellness day, mental wellness and self care day. So that means whatever day I choose each week, whether or not that's a Friday, whatever your day may be. And for some people, let's be realistic, right? Not everybody has that kind of time where they can just give themselves a whole day, even though you deserve it. But
Yeah.
if not, then create you a mental wellness self care hour, half a day, or whatever that looks like, right? And that means that is your time to focus on just yourself. Meditate, pray, listen to music. Music is therapy, music is medicine. Use it. I'm telling you, I use music 365 days, 24/7. I have a bunch of TVs in my home and I barely even watch them. Like when I do cut it on, I still have it on videos. So I'm listening to the music. And there's nothing like that good old praise and worship, Logan.
Yeah.
So again, music is medicine, music is therapy. I want to encourage each and every one of you guys to use it. If you're already in a sad state, there's no need to put on more sad music because it's going to even bring your spirit down even more. Put you on something that's going to lift your spirit and just get up and move around, dance. You know, it's very important for us to do that. So I want to encourage you for the month of May. Okay, listen, promise Dr. Kristle Shanell that you will do that for the month of May. You focus on your mental wellness as well as your self care and moving forward. Listen, inbox me, leave me a message on the platforms and say, okay, tell me one way, or even if you got two or three or four or five different ways, how are you going to focus on mental wellness and self care for the month of May? You have to do it. There has to be a balance in life. If not, you're gonna nut up. Okay. And I just have to be honest in regards to that. You're gonna snap. Okay. So you have to focus on your mental wellness and self-care. So that's what I have to say for May, for the month of May, for mental wellness uh month. And I want to take this time now, Logan, I'm gonna give it to you so that you can talk about your story, your testimony in regards to living with lupus. Again, May is Lupus Awareness Month. So I'm going to have you at this time, Logan, to talk about that. And you guys that are listening and looking at me on the other platforms, feel free to go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel. And also, you can look at the full video on YouTube, The Kristle Shanell Show. And also remember to visit the website, www.kristleshanellshow.com, if you are interested in being interviewed on the show, if you want to be a guest on the show, if you would like to do any sponsoring, marketing, advertising, all the things, please feel free to leave a message on the website, and Dr. Kristle Shanell will definitely reach back out to you. The floor is yours, Logan.
Sure. So, it really talks about my journey with lupus in my book. So I'll be sure to not share too much because I definitely want people to read my
Purchase the
story.
book.
But let's just say that there were some red flags or some things from my past that alerted doctors to think that in the future I could possibly have some type of disease or some type of ailment.
Mhm.
And I ended up getting diagnosed with lupus in 2016 when I was a junior in college, which was definitely difficult. You're getting ready to start your life and really enjoy independence, and you've gotten slapped with not only one, but two diagnoses. So I was diagnosed with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis after having a slew of just symptom after symptom for a couple of months, and none of which were like, okay, we know exactly what it is, right? So it wasn't like, she's losing all her hair at one point in time, or there weren't bumps, on my body to say, hey, this would signify that she has, breast cancer or something of that nature. It was just
Mhm.
fatigue. It was just being malaise or just having a bad attitude, but not knowing why I was in such a bad mood. It was being really exhausted. It was swollen joints one day and then waking up the next day and not having them. And so with lupus, it's very difficult because there is no one test that is going to tell you, yes, you have lupus. It's a slew of tests that have to be taken. And then on top of that, it's lots of doctor's appointments to review your symptoms and see if, time can, you know, do its thing and you not feel so sick. But
Right.
from, I want to say, October to December, I was like declining really, really fast in college. And after lots of doctor's appointments, and as you know, Dr. Kristle Shanell, lots of waiting because we can't just schedule a doctor's appointment right now and expect to be seen tomorrow. We have to wait months and months and months, even if our symptoms are so pressing that we need to see somebody as soon as possible. And in December of 2016, it was confirmed that I had lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. And when you are a college student, a junior at that, so close to the finish line, and you hear that you have two autoimmune disorders, you kind of just feel like your life is about to stop. You feel like, how am I 20 going on 21, and the doctor telling me that I can only consume 2 drinks per month? And I'm not a heavy drinker now, but back in college, I want you to think about the state of mind that you're in, right? You're 20 going on 21, you're living your best life, you're experimenting, and you're ready for legality. And so it felt like 2 months before I was going to be legal, God was like, stop. Actually, you're not. So it was very difficult having that diagnosis, and it took me many years to come to grips with it. I ignored it. I did things like not take my meds and be very defiant with the doctor's orders. I, wouldn't talk about it for many years. There was many years after I was diagnosed that I didn't share that with people because I didn't want people to look at me and say she's sick. I wanted to be viewed as normal, whatever normal may be. And I ended up realizing that that was contributing to lots of anxiety and lots of depression because I would make plans with people to hang out with them and not tell them that I have lupus. And then the day of, I would be in the start of a flare up. And when you're in a flare up with lupus, you're just so tired to the point where it's like all you want to do is just lay around, whether or not you sleep or you don't, you're in bed, you're not doing anything. And I would cancel plans a lot. So people would start to say I'm not reliable, or that I'm not a good friend because I don't show up for the events that I need to show up with. And so that really started to aid into my mental health and feeling so isolated and so abandoned in the world because I had these invisible diseases that nobody else could see, but they were truly affecting my livelihood every single day. And
Right.
so there's been many years that I've had to cope. I've gone through therapy for many years because having invisible diseases that nobody else sees is very difficult to manage.
Yeah.
I like to use this as an example. When you see somebody who says, I have a cancer, and you see them with their head shaved, you automatically say that person is sick. But when you walk around with an autoimmune disease, when it's on the inside and it's invisible, it's very hard to say I'm sick because right now you don't know that I slept a lot yesterday.
That's
But
it.
I went ahead and put a full face of makeup on and I'm talking to you right now. And so I look healthy. You know what I
That's
mean?
it.
And
That's
so
it.
there have been lots of struggles with this battle, but I'm going to continue walking it down. And I am screaming Lupus is Awareness Month. May is Awareness Month because I wish people could understand that lupus doesn't just look like this. Lupus can also look like you getting your kidneys attacked and you not being able to be out in the world. Lupus can look like your skin being affected. Lupus can look like sleeping all day long. And if people understood it a little bit more, I think that we would be able to accept it as people not making excuses.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that you say that, Logan, because I remember I have a handicap sticker, for example, right? And at that time, when I was trying to get my handicap sticker, I was going to a pain management doctor. And I told the pain management doctor, I said, sometimes I can't even, get go to the grocery store and park in the parking lot and walk inside the parking lot because I'm tired or I'm hurting. And the pain management doctor didn't want to give me the handicap sticker, but the cancer doctor is the one that gave me, wrote off for me to get my handicap sticker, right? And I remember going to the store one day and there was a man and he was just looking at me like, why do you have this handicap sticker? And when I got out the car, he was like, why do you have a handicap sticker? There's nothing wrong with you. And I'm saying to myself, I wanted to go off, you know what I mean? But he was older than me, of course, so I wanted to be respectful. He was a Caucasian guy, but I'm saying to myself, I was like, you don't know what I'm going through. And
Um,
at that time, for example, I can relate so well because I got diagnosed with arthritis. I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I also got diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is a blood and bone cancer. And that's three types of pain. Do you hear me? So at the end of the day, nobody knows the feeling that it feels unless they're physically going through it. There's times when you're in chronic pain, like you said. There's times when you have no energy. I had my mother laughing because I told her, I said I had to go and buy me some Geritol. And Geritol is the vitamin that our grandmothers, grandfathers, they used to use way back in the day, right? So I
yep.
bought me some Geritol because I got so tired of feeling like, just felt like somebody just beat me up, however that feels, you know what I mean? So I got some Geritol and I just started taking the Geritol. Now this week I haven't taken it. I just prayed and I said, God, give me the energy that I need to have so that I can just do the basic things in my house. Load the dishwasher, just the basic things without being in pain and hurting. But again, nobody knows unless they're physically going through it themselves. So, what I do
Yeah.
want to say is have a little mercy, show a little bit of grace. You understand? Because a lot of times people are unaware of what somebody is going through. And of course, again, unless you have been diagnosed with this or that, you will never understand the pain that you go through dealing with arthritis or fibromyalgia or multiple myeloma. And I tell people as well, like having a baby, arthritis and fibromyalgia feels good compared to multiple myeloma. Okay. When I tell you, I just thank God for knowing who He is, because the pain from that thing alone, I'm telling you, it's extremely demonic. If you think, Logan, dealing with arthritis and you don't deal with fibromyalgia, but dealing with arthritis, you know that pain. So, it's like arthritis, fibromyalgia times 100. It's crazy.
So I was diagnosed with lupus in 2016, and I have a god sister who I met in college, and you will read about her in my book. She
Mm-hmm.
was someone that I just feel like God ordained to be somebody who was supposed to be my sister, but unfortunately we just had different mothers and different fathers.
Yeah.
But along while I was walking my lupus journey and my rheumatoid arthritis journey, she was right there next to me walking that journey with me. And years later, she ended up getting diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So, no, I don't have it, but I am very much so um
There.
not I'm not going to say experience. I don't know too much about it, but I know of her experiences. I know that when she wakes up in the morning, she's like, I'm just so tired, or when she
Yeah.
talks about how much her body aches and whatnot. And so I don't have that, but I do have other things that I can totally empathize with you both and the rest of the fibromyalgia community, as well as everybody in the autoimmune deficiency community.
That's it.
Like, we all have different aches and pains and things that we deal with every single day, but it's all on the
That's right.
inside and nobody else can see it. It's kind of like when we have a bad day, right? It's like it's because you just don't feel good and you're just irritated and you're annoyed. And I
That's it.
during my lupus journey, I found out that that word is called malaise. That is a symptom when you just are irritable, you're annoyed, you just don't feel good, and there's nothing that says this is what's happening. You are simply malaise. But to other
Mm-hmm.
people, if you're just at the grocery store or just interacting with your family, they're going to say you have an attitude problem or like you're just
That's
a
right.
negative person and whatnot. So
That's
I
right.
do empathize with you, and I don't know about everything about fibromyalgia, but I can only imagine what it feels like on top of all of the other diagnosis, on top of the diagnosis, on top of the diagnosis.
Yeah, and it's amazing because again, like I said, to have pain, the three times, it's just it's unreal. I do remember going to the doctor, and at first that's what they thought that I was dealing with was lupus. But my doctors did several tests, for lupus, because they honestly thought that's what the issue was, but it wasn't that. It was other things, but it wasn't the lupus. So I totally understand. I totally get it. And every day is different. Again, the pain and different things that you go through. One thing I will say, Logan, is that before I got the multiple myeloma diagnosis, right, I was dealing with the arthritis and fibromyalgia. And when I tell you, there were days that I was bedbound, like when I felt like somebody just ran me over with an 18-wheeler truck or something. You know what I mean? Because I could not move. It was like a paralyzed type of feeling that I would be just to my bed, right? And
Mhm.
God rest my nephew, not my nephew, Jesus have mercy, I'm thinking about my nephew, but my cousin, he was an author as well, and he was paralyzed from the neck on down, and he was talking about us doing a book together, where he was going to be writing about his experience being what is it called, quadriplegic, or whatever, being paralyzed from the neck on down, and then I was going to we were going to co-author that book together, where I would be talking about arthritis and fibromyalgia, and then just being completely paralyzed from that standpoint. Unfortunately, we lost them, so of course we didn't get a chance to do that book. But I felt like it was going to definitely be a good read, if we were able to get around to it. But it's just amazing the things that we go through in life. It's very, very tough. What I do want to do is just always to encourage people. The show is geared to motivate, inspire, encourage, allow people to find some sense of hope, some sense of love, and all the things, right? But my encouragement, I fight on a daily basis just to encourage those, because a lot of times I may be battling in my own self, in my own mind, my body, my soul, my spirit. But I also overcome those things because I always think about other people, and I put those people first, which allows me to come out of whatever I may be going through. I tell people all the time, I say, yes, I'm a therapist. Yes, I'm an ordained life coach. But at the end of the day, I bleed the same. I hurt the same, just like any individual, right? And again, with May being Mental Wellness uh, Awareness Month, I again want to just state, make sure you guys, y'all plug in, get you a therapist, someone that you can truly trust, not somebody that's just broadcasting your business all over social media, and everything that you and that person talk about. Next thing you know, they're going to social media talking about it, things of that nature. No, your information is supposed to be confidential, right? So find you someone that you can truly trust, and plug in to someone that can help you throughout the journey of whatever it may be that you're going through currently or may go through in the future. Do not let nobody just convince you or make you feel like you're just crazy because you have to go and see a therapist. Guess what? Dr. Kristle Shanell has a therapist, okay? Because I am a therapist. I'm taking in everybody's stuff, right? So who am I talking to? Yes, I'm talking to Jesus, but at the end of the day, I need somebody to talk to as well, right? So I just want to encourage you, just to let you know, as they say, a therapist needs a therapist, a doctor needs a doctor, a pastor needs a pastor, a teacher needs a teacher, all the things. So make sure we do better for 2026 and moving forward. Get you a therapist and listen, go sit on that therapist couch, okay? And get you some good old tea or some good old coffee and talk through those things that you may be going through, so that we can heal well, so that we can grieve well. It's so much happening in the world, and we have to focus on mental wellness and self-care, so that we're able to go through these things that are happening. It's so much going on. It's so much going on. And if we're not able to pour back into ourselves, then we're not going to last. So we have to focus on those things. You were going to say something else, Logan?
I was just itching my nose, but everything you were just saying was literally why I wrote my book. I was tired of having the sad story. I was tired of saying I have lupus and rheumatoid arthritis and hearing, oh. Like,
Yeah.
or I'm sorry, like I was ready to turn my pain into power and to give God the
That's
glory
right.
because yes, I do have lupus. Yes, I do have rheumatoid arthritis. Yes, I do have two other autoimmune disorders that we're not talking about right now. And I'm
Hmm.
still here to share my story and to share my testimony. I didn't want to be the victim anymore. I wanted to be the survivor. And
That's
so
it.
I empathize with you so much throughout all of your journey, like that we were talking about the other
Yeah.
day, because along with all of our health struggles, mental health was a really, really tough thing for me for a long time.
Hmm.
Dealing with having children, being a single parent, trying to figure out how I'm supposed to be sick, be an only parent, and also provide for them. And I just praise God that He's given me the eyes to see
Good.
and discernment and
Good.
a path clear as day that I need to walk. You know, I fall short of the glory of God every day of my life, but I always
We
pick
all
myself
do.
back up and pray, ask for forgiveness, and keep it moving. And I truly believe that my story was ordained by God. He wanted me to write my story. He wanted me to go through everything so that I would be able to tell somebody else who's going through abuse, who's
Hmm.
going through health ailments, who's trying to find their way through life, who's trying to figure out that self discovery. You can do this because I've given you the tools to do it. So,
That's it. Logan,
yeah.
I'm going to ask you one of the questions you asked me the other night when we were doing the Facebook Live. How long did it take you to write your book?
So it took, that's funny that you asked me. And I actually love when people ask that question. I
Hmm.
started a fast on March 30th of last year. And during that fast, it wasn't like I was fasting from specific foods or anything like that. I was trying to eat healthier, but nothing in specific. But I'm a really big Red Bull drinker. And at the time, I was drinking them pretty excessively. So I told myself that I was going to go on
You
a
got to stop with that Red
75-day
Bull.
fast.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
it was really, those Red Bulls are so bad. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
stop with it.
Yeah, they are. I was on a 75-day fast where I was only drinking water, so no alcohol, no Red Bulls, no juice. So I was actually doing like real fruit juices
Water.
as well. And during the fast, my biggest prayer was, Lord, show me the way. Give me the steps that I need to take to walk in your will. And
Hmm.
so many different things happened during that time. I ended up getting a job, a new car. I ended up starting my business. I had already had an LLC, but I actually like put work into it and started getting myself out there, and I started writing my book. So I
Yeah.
started my book on March 30th of last year, and then I ended up going to the expo that I was telling you about, where I was not an author at the time, but I was aspiring to be one. And before the 75 days ended, I had completed writing the manuscript, and it was just about formatting and learning the different, nuances of becoming an author, like the cover spread and the spine and the whole nine yards. But to write the manuscript, it took a little under 75 days. Hmm.
Wow, that's very good. That's
Yeah.
very good. You were truly, truly focused.
I was focused, but during that time, I was doing everything that God told me to do. So when He woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, it was wake up, start writing. And that's what I was
That's it.
doing. I was in my prayer closet. I was taking the downtime and not being on social media so much and saying, well, if you don't have anything to do, you need to be working on your book.
Hmm.
And very, very similar to your workbook, when I went to the Authors Expo, I was kind of in a place of being defeated as an author. So, when you're writing your manuscript and like you go through those like really highs, like, oh my God, like I'm getting really good content in, and then you go through those lows or those
Lows.
writer's blocks where you're like, dang,
Hmm.
I don't know where to go next. I was
That's it.
kind of in that space during the Authors Expo. And the first author that I came across was African American author. He was a man, and
Uh-huh.
he was at his table with nothing but his books and like a little jar of candy. When there was other authors there with like lots of books and lots of aesthetics and whatnot. And so when I talked to him, I told myself I want to make sure that I'm intentional with every single person. So no, his booth doesn't have anything, but his booth might be like the thing that I need to continue on with my journey. And in fact,
That's
it
right.
was. When I talked to him, he told me that this is my first book. I'm not quitting my day job to start writing books or to become a published author. It's just something I do in my spare time. He said, I love writing this type of book, but when you're publishing, you don't think about the page count or printing or like all of the money that goes into it. And he said, I had such knowledge to put in one book that I needed to split it up in segments. He said, so this is my first book that I'm publishing, but I'm going to publish another book. And I was like, oh my God, ding dong. Like that was it. Like the writer's block that I was in at the time was, I have so much knowledge that I want to share with the world. How am I supposed to fit it into one book? Like I have so many different things that I want to share. And so
That's
from
it.
there, I said to myself, you're not going to write your book all in one book. You're going to break it up into sections. And so, In My Eyes, Searching for Self Worth is a series. I'm working on number 2 right now, which prayerfully should be out by the end of this summer. It's In My Eyes, Lost Before Life Begins. And then there will be a book afterwards with what happens after the next life transition. So,
Yeah, yeah. I love it. And
yeah.
I remember those days waking up. It's like I would go to sleep. God would wake me up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And what I really love the most, Logan, I love water. Okay. Anybody that knows me, I love water. I love the ocean. I love when it's raining. I don't like driving in the rain, but I like when it's raining and I'm at home, where I can lay in my bed and read a book, right? Or just lay on my couch and read a book. So I remember going to Myrtle Beach and I just sat by the ocean and I was able to allow God to give me the rest of the words that I needed to close that book out. And I'm excited. My mother also, she's the author. She's actually the
Mm-hmm.
co-author in my book, In the Midst of a
Mm-hmm.
Diagnosis. And in this particular book, of course, you can find this on Amazon as well. You will not be able to get an autographed copy if you're ordering it off of Amazon, okay? But if you would like an autographed copy, definitely inbox me. You can call me or you can go to my website and purchase the book on my website. And of course, you will see other books there as well, which is my mother. Her name is Rachel Jenkins, and she's the author of Don't Let Your Struggle Separate You from God. That's on Amazon as well as my website. She's the co author again in my book, In the Midst of a Diagnosis. And then also, which is the second book I published under my publishing company. And then the third book that we have is Grandma's Superhero, which I should have brought those here so that you guys can see those as well. But you can definitely pull them up on Amazon. And um, Daniel, I want to give a little shout out to my little nephew. He's been looking at the Kristle Shanell show lately. So Daniel, this shout out is from Auntie. Know that Auntie love you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for supporting the Kristle Shanell show. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. My little nephew, he is 6 years old, you guys. So listen, if my little great nephew can subscribe to the Kristle Shanell show on YouTube, what about you guys? Okay, so show me some love. Continue to tap the screen. Go to YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You guys, we have so much more to come. Okay, I am just overjoyed. I'm excited because I know that God is doing some amazing things. Sister, I see a book that you and I will do together. I am just excited and to know that again, as we stated, that some of our stories are so similar until it's kind of mind blowing. But again, you guys, I want to encourage you to definitely go to Amazon, pick up In My Eyes, searching for self love. Dr. Kristle Shanell is currently writing her second book. My mother, oh my goodness, this is her fourth book. Mama, I did not forget about your fourth book. We were trying to get it out for Mother's Day, but so much has been happening, so much has been going on. And unfortunately, Dr. Kristle Shanell could not get that book out for Mother's Day. But guess what? It's still coming before the year is out. So
Mm-hmm.
stay tuned, you
That's
guys,
right.
for my mother's fourth book as well. Um, what else is on your heart at this time, Logan?
The only thing that I want to share is that I want to encourage everybody to just keep going. So that has been my mission and my goal. Um, I am going to be several different places in Michigan this for the month of May. So on the 15th, I'm going to be at a live expressions open mic night in Jackson, Michigan, where I will be doing a piece of my own. On the 16th, I'm going to be at an authors expo where I'm going to be showcasing all of the books that Learning with Logan has published, which is my
Yes.
publishing company. There's a minority business award ceremony that I'm going to be attending. And I'm really picking back up with my live videos and content and whatnot. So for my business, we do support the author, which you know, on the 1st of May, we featured you as our first support the author. Whereas I'm just talking on live to some of my viewers and giving them a review or kind of like a snapshot of a book that I read, which maybe people have not heard of before and they would be interested of. And so I'm really getting in the groove of doing that and meet the author segments, all of these different things I did last year, but I kind of took a break because mental
Yes.
health is very important. And I felt like
Your health.
juggling single single parenthood and entrepreneurship and working full time, it really just started to get too jumbled and my mental health was taking a back seat. And so I stopped doing live videos and having like a major social media presence. And so the month of May, I'm kind of stepping back into that realm, but not overwhelming myself because I felt like I was consuming my life with social media, consuming my life with interacting with people online, and I wasn't spending as much time as I needed to with my loved ones or my children and my family and whatnot. But this month, I'm just trying to get my feet wet with having some structure, not doing too much, not overwhelming myself, but definitely getting back out there and letting people know you can do it. I don't know
That's
what it
it.
is you're doing, but you can do it.
That's it. That's it. And I just want to say that you guys, her book is absolutely phenomenal. Logan, let me ask you. I heard you talk about your piece. Do you have a piece that you wanted to share today?
A piece. What do you mean?
Now, were you talking about poetry?
Oh, yes. Yes, but I don't know if I want to share it yet because
Okay.
this particular piece that I am presenting to the world on the 15th, though it's finished and it's memorized in the whole 9 yards, I want like the breakout to be on the 15th. I don't want to share it before then, but
That sounds good. That sounds good. And do you have any in your book?
not necessarily poetry that I've like just written down.
Okay.
But I do have a couple of different like portions in the book that are poetic. That is
Mm-hmm.
going to be another book that comes out this year though. After I wrote this piece that I'm presenting on the 15th, I said to myself,
Okay.
you need to write a poetry book. Like it just flowed so easy.
Mm-hmm.
So a poetry book will be coming out. I do want to backspace my story just a little bit. So Hakeem Crampton, my mentor and my really good friend that I was telling us about in the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, he is kind of like the vessel that gave me like the life back when I was a senior in high school. So he came to our high school and he talked to us about pronouns, adjectives. He was just trying to get us looking at words in a different manner, right? He was
Okay.
trying to introduce words through hip hop, I guess you could say. And so he
Uh-huh.
gave us an assignment, and it was to take nouns, adjectives, conjunctions, verbs, and make it into a spoken word. And I did it. And I thought that everybody else in the classroom was going to do it, and I was the only person that did it. And he, in fact, took that rap. He put it in his book, and it's now a workbook for young students who are in grade school to learn about nouns,
That's
verbs,
awesome.
prepositions and their
Very good.
placements and whatnot and actually practice them. And so he was like very much so encouraging my story back when I was 18 and didn't realize that I had so much of a testimony. And now we're here and I've actually published my own book. So the next book is going to be a poetry book because it's just something that flows very easy for me. I love rhyming. I love having some type of flow. So it'll
I
come
love
this
it.
year sometime.
Awesome. Awesome. And I can't wait to experience it and hear the poetry that you're going to be giving to our community. One other thing that Logan shared in her book, it's just a little quote. It says, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step." Let me repeat that. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So that's a little inspiration, a little affirmation for you guys on this afternoon. And I just want to encourage you again to go to Amazon, support a Black author, Logan Marie Taylor. And the title of the book is In My Eyes, Searching for Self Worth. So I am hoping that you guys listen, you queens, you kings, even the kings. We're not going to leave out the kings, Logan, okay?
We
Logan said, "Come
shouldn't.
on,
We
Kristle."
can't leave out the
That's
queens.
right. We can. We can. Right? They are the the foundation. You know, that's who God created for them to be the head, right? So we're not going to leave
Yeah.
out the kings, but I just want to encourage the kings and the queens to definitely, as we stated, focus on mental wellness, focus on self care. Again, always, always, always don't take anything for granted when it comes to your health. Whether or not you know that you constantly having headaches or whatever the case may be, go to the doctor, get yourself checked out, because a lot of times these men, they just feel like they can just pop a ibuprofen and everything's gonna be all right, and we just don't know if it could be something else, right? So we don't want to be claiming anything, but we want to have wisdom. We want to make sure that, listen, you guys are going to be around for us queens for a very, 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 very long time. Okay, God promised us a long life. So that's what we're expecting, right? So, Logan, before we close out, what I do want you to do is share your social media platforms. If there's someone that wants to reach out to you, like, how would they contact you?
For sure. So I'm really big on Facebook right now, either my personal page, which is Logan Taylor, or my business page, which is Learning with Logan LLC. I have TikTok, Big Low 212. Instagram is low underscore 212. And my email, learning with Logan LLC at gmail.com. I respond back to any inquiries. If you're looking to publish a book yourself, if you're looking to purchase my book, or if you're looking for bundle deals for my children's book, Oh Mommy, I Follow You, or The Leader Dinosaur by Myra Taylor or Ezra Taylor, my children, email is the best method of contact. But in the meantime, I just want everybody to share your story. Hashtag share your story. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what you're going
Yeah.
through. I don't know what you've been through. All of it. Just share
That's
your
it.
story however you
Share
can.
your story. Share your
Hmm.
story. Share your testimony. Definitely. And Logan, I just again want to thank you for being here on the Kristle Shanell show. Listen, listen, listen. Thank you to my audience who are here watching the show. Dr. Kristle Shanell, love you from the bottom of my heart. I want to also give a shout out to the radio station WJBS 1440 AM and 96.1 FM. Shout out to Mr. Harry Govan for allowing the Kristle Shanell show to air on the stations for a very, very long time. I can't even remember what age. I think it was 14, 15, 16 when I started in radio, and absolutely loved it. And here I am, still pretty much doing the same thing that I've been doing when I was a teenager, right? So grateful for that. But shout out to Mr. Harry Govan. And you guys, the show airs on the shows in South Carolina, Augusta, Savannah, the surrounding areas. It goes out to like 50 different cities. So shout out to Mr. Harry Govan. I appreciate you. The show airs at 3 p.m. on Sundays at WJBS 1440 AM and 96.1 FM. Logan, I do need to do an interview with you this week for the show there. You'll be airing on WJBS 1440 AM as well as 96.1 FM. So you just have to let me know your availability for this week. That show is actually a 30-minute show, so it'll go by very quickly. But I want you to share your story, your testimony, just like how we kind of did today for them on Sunday, for next week, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I would love
Also,
to.
I want to make aware again to anyone that is listening. If you would like to be a guest on the Kristle Shanell Show, I ask for you to please visit my website at www.thekristleshanellshow.com. If you would like to be a sponsor, if you would like to do any marketing or advertising, I have a lot coming out for you guys, and I'm going to be sharing that this month. And you'll be able to have an opportunity to really connect, advertise your book, advertise your business, all the things. So I'll be sharing that before the month is out, once it's finished. And listen, I also do events, Logan, which is called Meet the Authors. My next event that I do will be Meet the Authors. And that is a live event, but also, I do it virtually as well, but typically it's live. So, an in person Meet the Authors. So, I'll definitely keep you guys aware of that particular event. Also want to just kind of share with you guys, it's very important for us, our community, whether or not that's African American, Caucasian, listen, African, Chinese, Korean, it doesn't matter. Okay. We all need life insurance. Okay. It's very important for us to have life insurance. It's very important for us to have a will. If that is something that you are interested in, I would ask for you to please reach out to the show. Again, you can visit the website, send me a message on the website, or you can call directly at 770-715-7949. Again, that's 770-715-7949. Now, just to share with you some of the things that we do offer, we offer income protection, which is, of course, life insurance, emergency accounts. We offer, again, wills, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, vivid home security. Also, we do budgeting, debt elimination, debt management, 529 college plans, IRAs, Roth IRAs, 401k for your retirement, education for your children, and goals and dreams, right? So, I want to just make aware those services that we offer here on the Kristle Shanell Show. If that sounds like something that you may be in need of, or if you have any additional questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out and I'll be more than happy to connect you with the person that would be assisting you with those services. Again, I want to make sure our community have life insurance in place. Unfortunately, we all are going to leave from here. We don't know the day, the time, or the hour, or the second, or the minute. But at the end of the day, when we do leave, we want to make sure that we're leaving our family with a legacy, right? And that is for them to have some type of assistance beyond just a regular 9 to 5, okay? And thank God for the 9 to 5s or the 9 to 3 or the 7 to 3. You know what I mean? We're grateful for our jobs. But at the end of the day, again, we are not doing what we're supposed to do when it comes to making sure we're having the coverage that we need for our families when it comes to life insurance. So I want to just say that if you're interested, feel free to reach out. Let's get those life insurances in place. Let's get those wills in place. We have to make sure we have our families covered. Okay. A lot of times we spend money on getting hair done, nails done, eyelashes, pedicure, Medicare, all those things are very important. Okay. We want to look beautiful. We want to look cute and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, God forbid if something happens, then what? We're left, in a stressful situation. Don't put off tomorrow because somebody may not make it tonight. Okay. So I just want to state that. Know that Dr. Kristle Shanell is sharing this from the bottom of my heart. Okay. It's not any arrogance or anything of that nature that, I'm putting out there. I just want to make sure that our families are covered. And if you are interested in any services, please feel free to reach out and I'll make sure that we get you the services that you are in need of. All right, Logan, I appreciate you again. Anything else before we close out?
No, just big thank you for having me. And I look forward to your Meet the Author. And also, thank you again for being on my show, my Support the
Absolutely.
Author on Friday. I'm sorry about yesterday, but I look forward to more shows and coming down to Atlanta soon.
Yes, I
I look
can't
forward
wait.
to it all.
I definitely cannot wait. Again, you guys, go to Amazon. In My Eyes, Searching for Self Worth. Beautiful, beautiful book. Logan, this picture is absolutely phenomenal. I love the front and back cover of your book.
I
Absolutely
appreciate
beautiful.
I
Yes.
appreciate it. I
Go
want
to
to tell you
Amazon.
one thing before we leave.
Sure, sure, sure.
That was the first shot of the
The
photo
first
shoot.
shot, your photo shoot. Yes.
Yeah.
They did an awesome job. I absolutely love the front and back cover of your book.
Yeah.
Awesome job. Whoever the
Thank you.
photographer
Thanks.
is, let him know what I said, okay? This is just absolutely gorgeous.
Shout out
Absolutely
to Royal
gorgeous.
Studios, Sandy Donnelly.
That's it. That's it. And then on the back, let's see, it says travel down a path of self discovery while healing from deep rooted trauma. Join me in becoming resilient after suffering years of pain. Share your story and may the truth set you free. Come on, somebody. Hey, that
Um,
is absolutely
yeah,
beautiful. Absolutely
thank
beautiful.
you.
Um, I just want to say to you again, we have some similarities in our stories, right? But there's a reason and a purpose that we went through what we went through, okay? And
Mm.
that what we went through will not go unnoticed, right? God will set up platforms, many, 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 many more platforms for yourself as well as myself concerning our stories and our testimonies, right? It's a testimony. No matter what we went through, it's still a testimony behind it, right? I'm so grateful for my testimony. I'm so glad that my husband, my ex-husband, excuse me, let me straighten that out. Went to Nigeria and married somebody else. I'm so glad that he did what he did because I would have been
Mhm.
miserable for the rest of my life. So there's a reason and a purpose for everything. So I'm grateful to God that he did what he did. You know, but again, you guys, I want to thank you so so much for being here on the Kristle Shanell show. The show is pretty much 1 hour, and we have reached that 1 hour time frame. So I want to just say thank you. God bless you guys. Stay tuned for our next and upcoming show. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do a show on Mother's Day. I don't want to really, um, you know, uh, take up people's time on Mother's Day because I want people to really spend their quality time with their mothers. So I'm not sure just yet. If so, I'll keep you guys posted on my social media platforms. But if not, you'll definitely see this the next show coming up soon as well for the month of May. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Make sure that you go to YouTube at the Kristle Shanell Show. Please subscribe. Okay. Follow me on my other social media platforms. You can follow me at Dr. Kristle Shanell, or you can follow me at Kristle Shanell, or you can follow me at the Kristle Shanell Show. It's one of the three. Okay. So just know that Kristle Shanell loves you from the bottom of my heart. Peace and blessings. Until next time, you guys, take care and have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Bye for now.
Thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome, Logan. Thank you, Queen. All righty.